Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Been a long time since we said those words. A lot has happened since then. Hopefully you've missed us. We did just go live a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago, and it absolutely went to shit. So take two. Here we go. Lot to talk about, lot to go through because it's been. I don't even know how long it's been since we actually done an episode. Well over a month. I am just going to start by saying. Obviously our thoughts and well wishes are going to everybody who was affected by the incident at the end of the parade on Monday. Thankfully, there hasn't been any deaths as a result of it, and it does look like everybody involved will make a full recovery, which is fantastic news. It's exactly the news we wanted to hear coming out of that. So yeah, just our best wishes to everybody in regard to that. But not going to dwell on it too much because it's a minor negative to what's been a massively positive season. And at the end we got what we all wanted. Arne Slot lifted the trophy on us in his very first season, and it's just been a fucking whirlwind, hasn't it? Like, this is exactly why we haven't been able to do one in recent weeks, because we've just been living in the moment and enjoying it for what it is, and not winning a game since, but who gives a fuck? It has just been a crazy few weeks, and people have well and truly made up for not being able to celebrate it a few years ago.
And then some. I only stopped having the shakes on Thursday. It's been bad, honestly. It's been brilliant, but the party, and I feel like Alisson Becker, I think we're all ready for the partying to stop and have a nice chilled summer, ideally. Hope Liverpool get the business done early and we can celebrate that. I nearly had a pint yesterday because of Frimpong. I'll probably have a pint for weights. It's just a whirlwind. But yeah, then the scenes after Tottenham, that feeling of being champions again, seeing it with the people who mean the most and going and doing it and being allowed to do it, celebrating in the streets together and in the pubs. Unbelievable. Like the parties we've had have been with like the same close-knit group of friends and my fella, and it's just been party central since Tottenham. Been to Brighton away, been to the Arsenal match, been to Palace. It's just been non-stop, relentless partying, and we've been to like sound of taggies of a night and stuff like that. It's just been party central, and we've proper enjoyed it. It's not even milking it. We've just been in the moment, proper keen to get out and start again. It was like that Palace weekend was like a 4-day bender, non-stop till like 5:30 in the morning. Get up again at 9 and crack on again. With work in between and stalls in between. It's just been manic, but honestly, wouldn't change a thing of it.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, like I said, we've been living in the moment, and life's kind of gets in the way and stops us doing this, and you can vouch for that. Like, probably being the busiest you've ever been since you started the t-shirts, and I don't think I even need to say probably. I know it has been like, countless nights up doing t-shirts till 2-3 in the morning. Like, he's put the work in, and it's down to obviously yourself putting the boss designs out, but people have been absolutely lapping them up, and it's been boss to see as like an outsider looking into what you're doing and that. But I know from what you've told me, like, it has been mental.
Lads, honestly, close to a breakdown. It's not even like, it's not the workload that does it to you. It's the amount of emails and messages you get. People obviously have paid money for items and they want them to get there. And obviously they don't realise I'm sat here writing packaging out till 2 o'clock in the morning and getting the stuff printed from a third party printer in Liverpool and waiting for them to get them to me, and then I'm packaging and posting them as many as I can at a time. But then as soon as I pass it into the post office, my power's gone. I've got no power anymore. You know what I mean? I don't get tracking numbers unless they pay for tracking, stuff like that. My power's completely gone, and I'm getting hundreds of messages a day. Where's my stuff? Even stuff that was like on pre-order. You will not get this till a couple of days before Palace, 2 weeks before Palace. Where's my order? You're like, literally says on your note, you're not getting it till the week of Palace. So it's been manic, but it's been worth it. I wouldn't swap a thing. We've put the hours in, we've grafted, and seeing all the shirts in the ground and around the ground and all the 1906 stuff with the collaboration with Spy and Cop, they just go manic. Like, do you know what I mean? It's been having a collaboration with them and being sort of with them as being boss, and then seeing all my own stuff everywhere as being boss, and seeing all the small businesses stuff everywhere has been boss. I think everyone's done brilliantly. I know a load of firms do like drop shipping and it takes the work out of their hands and stuff, but I prefer to be involved and responsible for anything that gets there or doesn't. So, say my workload's been massive, but seeing all small businesses thriving and doing well, from the smallest ones to the biggest ones, it's been boss. It's been great. I think the whole city's come together. I've had orders from America, Singapore, it's been Australia, everywhere all over the world. The annoying thing is, some people who ordered the same time as Scousers from America got their top before the local people. That's how bad Royal Mail is. I sent t-shirts on the 9th of May and they landed in America and never got to some people in Liverpool. So I'm just pulling my hair out thinking, how's this possible? But it happens, and 99% of people are understandable that it is hard work and stress, and you know, the only reason we do it is to see it out and about, and we've seen it, so I'm delighted. It's over now, can relax, and been brilliant, but close to
You'll have to start your own you'll have to start your own delivery firm now, don't you?
I'll have to do something like that, because like, from a personal point of view, I know there's loads of small businesses who are doing things differently, but I'm going to have to make a few changes myself to get on to level it out a bit, so it's not just me.
I think now the season's over, lad, it might calm down a bit for you. You've got that opportunity, haven't you, now, to like make any little tweaks to make it a bit easier for yourself. But no, it's been boss. I mean, like, looking at the like highlights of the games and that on telly, and like when it cuts to the crowd, and I'm seeing like your stuff more than I have been recently. I've seen loads of them. There was even some TikToker, I can't even remember his name, I ended up following TikToker, YouTuber lad as well, who was going around just like talking to people at the parade, and he had one of your tops on. But he had one of your tops on as well, even just little things like that, lad. It's like, I'm noticing a lot more, and that's like it. I say it's down to you putting the designs together and putting the work in to make sure that people can get them, and that's so fucking hats off.
It's been good, lad, because as well, I don't want to, obviously we won't dwell on the business too much, but doing the stalls, I've never got an interest in doing the stalls because I'm not interested in the money side of it. I want to be out having a pint with my mates, but I've realised that I can have a stall and have a pint with my mates and meet new mates through the t-shirt business. So I've got people from like, there's a lad from Hawaii who comes over every now and again, and California, and they just pop up the stall, and we just, sometimes they don't buy nothing, we just have a pint. And I've met another lad, Steph, and we've just got this little community now where if I've got a stall set up, there's 7 or 8 of us stood round having a bevy, and the stall bit gets in the way because we're just having a laugh, and if we make a few sales, it's brilliant. But yeah, I've realised that the stall's not just a stall to make money, it's a little community, and people come to it for a bevy, and it's been brilliant. We've had a load of us for like the Tottenham game and stuff, all of us together. And yeah, we've made memories with new people and common mates who we're with all the time. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been boss. So look, this is because we have missed so much. It's probably going to end up just being sort of a bit of a season recap. But you know, talking about the games that we haven't missed, and not necessarily the games themselves, but like, you know, the atmosphere. You know, you said yourself you were at the Arsenal game, you were at the Tottenham game, and obviously the Palace game. Like, I mean, that Tottenham game, what was better for you? Was it the Tottenham game or was it the Palace?
I didn't go to the Tottenham game.
Oh, didn't you go to Tottenham?
So we watched the Tottenham one in Hotel Tia, and I went to obviously the Arsenal game, and then I went to the Palace game. I'd say from looking from the outside, and I think the Tottenham game was bigger than Palace. We'd won the league. We literally got confirmed champions against Tottenham, and I think that relief, that party on and around the pitch was just unbelievable. Even being in the pub, watching it on the telly, the scenes was just unbelievable. It was crazy. Obviously, Palace, we know we're going to win the league. Wasn't the greatest first half of footy. We weren't that entertained, but all we're thinking is, like, when the second half starts, in about an hour's time, there's going to be a fucking glistening trophy there with a gold crown on, and we're going to see it. And the second half, we played a lot better. So I think most people would say the Tottenham game, and I wouldn't argue with it. I think that relief of becoming champions, and like I've got a little story there to tell about the Tottenham game, which I don't think I'll ever live down. But I went into Hotel Tia and was speaking to Bill Shankly's granddaughter, Karen. She's lovely. We get on like a house on fire, we have a drink. I annoyed the shit out of her because I'm always one of the last to go. She has to put me in taxis and that's just great little relationship, like family business in there, brilliant. So I've gone up the bar like 5 minutes before the end and I'm asking, any bottles of champagne or Prosecco or anything that we can just pop when a full-time wrestler goes. And just give me this bottle of champagne. Goes back and I'm stood with my mate Ash, who's a Muslim. And he was like, Jay, just make sure you don't get it on me. And I went to him, I'm not popping it. I'm literally not interested in popping it. I was going to, but we're going to drink it. So as I'm watching the match, without knowing, I'm subconsciously unscrewing the fucking metal off the cap. And then before the full-time whistle goes, the lid's just pop, lad, and it's gone all over him, head to toe, like a comedy sketch. And I've just been, oh my God. I'm so sorry what you were doing here. And he took it like a king, lad. He was just like, you know what? It wasn't meant. It is what it is. Get over it. And I was like, oh, mate, I can't get over it. I'm gutted. I'm sorry. I was like wiping it off. I said that, lad. And I was just like, I can't get over this. And he was like, it's all right. And I texted him the next day saying, I'm cringing my ass off here. And he's like, do you know what? It was just great to witness it as you enjoy it. So he's not from here. He's from somewhere else in England. And like, it was just a sickening thing to happen, and he took it well. So I was ended up laughing about it, but still gives me nightmares.
I'm not surprised. But no, I mean it's just you've just got that sense. Like even I know the form since we won the league, as we mentioned before, it hasn't been great because they've all been pissed and been on the beaches and being in Dubai and Ibiza and wherever else they've been the last few weeks. So you let them off and you're not asked because we have won the league, but then. Like, you're losing the last minute to Brighton and the away fans are just ridiculous. And obviously you were there, I know, but like just there's absolutely not a care in the world. And like I did put a little something on Twitter and like I didn't go over the top of nothing, just basically essentially saying I just don't like seeing us lose more than anything. And then, and then I seen them scenes like in the away end after it. And I deleted the post because I thought, you know what, that's what it's about there. It's about living in the moment. We're the champions. It doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the season. It's essentially pre-season for the last 4 games. I stopped caring about it then. Like I didn't much anyway, but it was like, as I say, I'm just one of them who just doesn't like to see us lose no matter what. And I started just thinking, right, this is just pre-season. And then I wasn't asked then, and I was fucking buzzing.
Was it Fulham who beat us first?
Well, they beat us before we won it, didn't they?
Did they, yeah?
Yeah. Because I think Arsenal dropped points the same weekend, but it was Chelsea.
Oh, yeah, it was Chelsea. So the Liverpool fans in that end were celebrating. I think they celebrated their Palmer pen more than Chelsea. They celebrated their goal more than Chelsea fans, and I was getting, because I fucking hate playing Chelsea and I hate losing to Chelsea, and I just thought, you know what, I don't care, we've won the league, it doesn't matter. I want to go out and show that we're champions and why we're champions. We've already done that because we're champions.
Yeah, done it all season.
Forget it now. The results are the results. Obviously I would have liked to have won at least one of the games in the last couple, but yeah, that trip to Brighton was nothing more than a 6-hour party bus, 90 minutes of footy that got in the way. So for the 90 minutes of footy, we partied. For the half an hour we got kept behind, and that was a party. And then a 6-hour party on the way home. And that's all it was. It was just I was like that. Like, I don't like to drink too much because I fucking forget things. And I hate waking up and I forgot. Can't remember being in Brighton Stadium. Didn't know we'd lost when I got home. Thought it was 2-2. Couldn't get me. Didn't know we'd lost. And I was like, why was it like that? Why was it that bad? Because on the fucking, in the queuing up for the coach, some lad opened a bottle of Fireball. And we're singing Fireball. And we're all just swigging it. He's just passing it around the coach and that in the end. And we're all having a swig. And you're just like, this is the life. No one cares about the footy at this moment in time. We're going to support the Reds and have a party with the Reds. And I think some of the players tried to like pretend they were pissed off, and then you've got Canate just dancing with the away end and that, and you're just like, this is what it's about. We're in party mode, and that's how it's going to stay, and that's how it did stay.
I think the only thing I will say about like those few games after we won the league is I think it looks like I think they were getting used as a bit of an experiment to see like which of the fringe players are going to be involved next season, and I don't think a lot of them have done themselves any justice. I think Harvey Elliott, when he did play, looked all right to me. I thought he played well. I thought he was a bright spark, as he has been whenever he has been given a chance this season. And I thought Chiesa was decent, but I hope we keep him just for a song, which has been in my head for the past 2.5 weeks.
Imprinted onto my brain, that.
I know, lad. It's ridiculous. It's so good. So yeah, it would have been nice for like some of the bit part players to make a bit of a better impression, but at the end of the day, it's who's asked, like we say. We've won the league. That's what it was. That's what it all boiled down to. I am going to ask about the one man who seemed to think that everything was about him. Very narcissistic of him in the end, if I'm being honest. But Trent, like I didn't really want to bring him up, if I'm being honest, but you asked me to. But I think when he got booed in the Arsenal game, I thought I got it when he first come on. That made sense. He had to let them know how we feel as a whole. That made sense. I think booing every touch he had killed us a little bit. So it's a good job that the result didn't matter. The final day, I was made up. No one booed when he went up and his name got read when he was going up to lift the trophy, because I just think in that moment, you don't just, it wouldn't have been a mood killer, but it would have been just weird booing somebody as they're going up to lift the fucking Premier League trophy after contributing this season. So I'm glad he didn't get booed in that moment. But then, as like the way he was, I think not necessarily the way he was on the bus in the parade, but like he was the only one who wasn't wearing red. And then like his post that everyone's jumped on after it, like thanks for the send off and all that. It's like he's tried to make every little bit of it about him, and I think the media haven't helped as well, because a lot of the coverage from various outlets I've seen were focusing on him, while the other players were like in front of the cop and stuff like that, and just everything got made about him in the end, and it just it didn't ruin it in any way, but it was annoying, because there's players there who deserve the spotlight, who have committed for next season and haven't fucked off for 10 mil as it happens now. So yeah, what's your overall thought about it? I know we've done a kind of full episode on it a few weeks back, like, but now that it's all done and dusted, like, where are you with it all?
Boo! I fucking hate him. I booed him against Arsenal to the highest I'd never boo anyone for, like, I was getting the impression he was a proper rat bag, and I couldn't help myself. It was like I booed him. He wouldn't have heard me because I was in the fucking gods against Arsenal. Booed him, right? And then when everyone carried, I booed him once with proper frustration. I booed him with everything I had, like I would if I cheered a goal. I let him know he's a cunt. And then that was it. I ended it there, done me one. And then everyone booing every touch and that killed the game. So in hindsight, if I could have went back, I wouldn't have booed him at all. I'd have just pretended he didn't exist. So I was disappointed with myself and the rest of the crowd for booing him. I thought it was stupid. It cost us the game. The atmosphere killed our game. It literally took the sting out of everything. I think the players were a bit pissed off with us as well for booing their mate and stuff like that. But all in all, lads, he should, if we'd have known what he was going to be like in the aftermath and how callous he was going to be, we'd have booed him at the parade as well and the trophy lift, because he's deserved it. He's proven to be what he is. He is a self-centered little shithouse. He went round the ground on his own. All the players at the Kop, and he's walked around with his family on his own, like it was about him again. He's gone up to he's handpicked a few kids out the crowd to like sign stuff and get photos with, but then there's kids next to kids who he's ignored. So again, I was row 5 at this point. and I couldn't contain myself, and I was saying, just do something right for once, you little cunt, you and your brother. Just fucking sign them all or sign none. There's about 3 kids you've missed. Go back and sign them. And shouting to his brother, just fucking do the right thing, you rat. And he went to the kid, no. The kid was about 6, lad, nearly crying. And I was like, you just summed yourselves up there in front of everyone. You are just a ratbag family. You've seen, obviously, the comments his cousin or someone's made about the City of Liverpool and being victims and that. That's someone, they're in his circle, that's what they've been in his head. And, you know, we've seen how he dresses and how he conducts himself. He's not one of us. He never has been, and he's been a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. He's been a rat. So I'm glad he's gone. He goes, and then you see someone like Frimpong come in, who looks like he's good, but fucking headbutt his way through a brick wall for the team already. Dead keen, dead eager, his family, dead humble. They're just dead excited. And again, if in 5 years' time he's the best right back in the world and Real Madrid come calling and he wants to go and he does it with grace, you wish him well. But
yeah, of course.
Trent hasn't done it with grace at all, not remotely. So, yeah, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad it's over with. Done and dusted. The fact that he's just literally moved on within 5 minutes of an announcement. He's a Real Madrid player. You've got his lover waiting for him in some sort of cardigan. They're fucking like stepbrothers, them 2 cunts. Yeah, so I'm literally, he come on the pitch against Palace, and don't get me wrong, I was like, wow, he can't half hit a ball. It's gruesome that he's leaving because he can be so good, but I think he hindered us more than he helped us. I think this season alone, I think his numbers weren't up to scratch for what they used to be. I think his work rate hasn't been there for 2 years. He doesn't go in for a challenge. He doesn't go in for a 50-50. When he gets skinned, he jogs back. You know, someone's done a compilation and sent it to Madrid going, enjoy your new fullback. And when you watch it, you're like, fucking hell. Yeah, he can pass a ball, but he can't do much else. So it's not even bitterness, that. I won't wish him well. I do hope he does his cruciate in the first fucking training session. I do. I don't want to see him do well.
What, tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't want to see Real Madrid do well. They're a bigger rival to us than Man United and Everton. There are more threats to us in our season's goals than them two. They're a big rival. They beat us in 2 European Cup finals. In one of them, they fucking cheated like fuck. One of our players. They're just a fucking nemesis of us. And I hope we play them next year and we beat them. But yeah, he's gone now. He doesn't exist at Liverpool. I think Liverpool have made that pretty clear themselves with all the posts they've done and all the league title posts, and he's not in none of them. So yeah, ta-ra to you.
What did you make of Klopp's comments at the foundation event?
Shouldn't have said any of it.
Yeah,
I'd never say lose respect for the man because I fucking idolise him, but it wasn't his place. Our manager come out a couple of days before, our current manager, and said, you know, he could have done more in training. He could have put more in. He could defend better. And Klopp's come out and undermined him. So for me, that's the wrong thing to do. Shouldn't have said, and he shouldn't have brought the shirt and made it about Trent.
I mean, to be fair, the shirt was a signed one and it was getting auctioned off for charity. So that's why he had it there. It did feel like it was a little sort of premeditated in what he was going to say. I think if he'd have just left it at just saying I was disappointed with the reaction and not said we don't do this and things like that, I think no one would have had a problem. People, I said at the time, like, I don't think there's I didn't think at the time in the Arsenal game, I don't think there was a right or wrong way to go about it. It's everyone's personal preference. If you want to clap him, clap him. If you want to boo him, boo him. That's exactly however you feel is the right way for you. I think if you would have just said, I was disappointed by it, then everyone would have went, yeah, fair enough. You're allowed to be disappointed by it, and that would have been the end of it.
And that's it. It nearly caused fights in the crowd against Arsenal because people were going against each other. Why are you booing? Why aren't you booing? And stuff like that. And that, as I say, mine was heartfelt. Mine was how I felt at the moment when he come on. I didn't want him near the pitch. I think Slot was stupid to bring him on, personally. But he's had to keep Bradley fit because Bradley was going to play the remaining games. So, yeah, I thought in hindsight I wouldn't have booed, but I don't know whether in hindsight would have been able to control it. I couldn't. It just booed. It was one of them. And if I seen him in the street, I'd boo him again. Probably say a bit more than boo, to be honest. But as I say, I just think he's ratted us. And that's the end of it, lad. There's no point even going on about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He's gone, and we've replaced him before he's even left, which is brilliant by Liverpool. And I think we've made our statements. I think you see the posts from the, I don't know whether it's the club or the media team who makes these decisions, but when people are comparing like his goodbye to like the likes of Origi and Thiago and Firmino and that, we literally just said Trent's going.
Yeah.
Origi's got like, he'll always be a legend, and Thiago, thanks for everything. And it was just Trent's Trent's going. See you later.
I admire the pettiness of it, in all honesty, and
I
admired the sort of the spite of announcing Frimpong a few hours after saying we've accepted a £10 million offer from Madrid so we can join early. I admire that we've like announced that a few hours later, because we very easily could have waited until like tomorrow when the window's officially open and we've gone, nah, fuck this. Here you go.
Yeah. We
Happy
just
Friday.
We put about 50 posts out to surround everything away from that. And
I think it was about 20 minutes after the Trent announcement, he put the Alisson picture up, didn't he? Like literally within about 10 or 15 minutes. So,
and then one after the other, then
yeah, they just bombarded it, which is great. Get him out the memory. Because like again, I was saying it earlier. I don't even remember who I was saying it to, but I was saying it earlier. You know, it's the way he's gone about it. He's led the club on thinking that he was going to sign a new deal when he'd made his mind up a long time ago. If he'd just said at the start of the season, like, I've made the decision to leave at the end of the season when my contract's up, everyone would have just went, all right, yeah, Sam, thanks for telling us. We can sell you now if we want to.
Put the ball in the club's court, and he never. So for that, he's a rat, and he'll always be a rat. And,
yeah.
Like I say, if you'll have a few, you'll have, and I'll say this with a pinch of salt, but you'll have like your Wolves and your people who aren't from here who don't quite get what it means to us to like walk past Melwood every weekend and try and peek through the gaps and see our heroes, because that was our dream. You've got that tip from Everton saying everyone wants to play for Real Madrid. I didn't know what Real Madrid was till I was about 10. Just knew it was a football team. Never interested me. If you were to give any Scouse kid, here's a contract for Liverpool, or here's a contract for any other club on the planet, including Real Madrid, to sign the Liverpool one. I don't care.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Like when you're a kid, you're in the street and you're playing footy, you're shouting Gerrard, you're not shouting Zidane, as good as he was. And don't get me wrong, I think Zidane is fucking arguably one of the greatest players who's ever walked the planet. But as a kid, you weren't shouting Zidane, you were shouting Gerrard because you wanted to be him. You wanted to be fucking playing for Liverpool. And if you're a blue, although he wasn't there long, you were shouting Rooney. Again, you wasn't shouting Zidane, or you wasn't shouting anyone else. Like that's what it's about for us in Liverpool. It's about playing for Liverpool or Everton, depending on who you support, and that's it. That's your be all and end all. Like, it's like our fucking religion.
It is.
And so yeah, it's a mad one. But look, he's gone, and as I say, we've announced Jeremy Frimpong, who's absolutely some divvy. But now look, Jeremy Frimpong, he's fucking made up to be here. He said, what was it? He said, I play for Liverpool. What more can I say? He's made up to be a lad. He's absolutely buzzing, and I think by the looks of it, his dad's a Liverpool fan as well. So like, it means something more to him already. It feels like it already means more to him playing for Liverpool, and he hasn't even kicked the ball for us yet than it ever did Trent.
No, it's mad, and you just get a vibe off someone. You feel like, I know like he's under scrutiny for his defending and that he's more of a forward player, but if Arne Slot wants him to defend, he'll defend, and I feel like, if he tells him you're a right back that doesn't go past the halfway line, then that's what he'll be. I think he'll just take a role and he'll do whatever the manager wants. But obviously, that's not going to be his role. He's going to be up and down that line. He's going to be giving everything for the club. And as I say, I don't even necessarily think he starts over Conor Bradley. I think the opportunity to be able to take one off and put the other on is absolutely brilliant. And that's the difference. You bring Trent on and your whole game slows down, but he can bypass 5 players with a pass. So that's what, we've got Frimpong now who can sprint up and down the line. So might mean instead of the 60-yard passes going up the pitch, it's a 60-yard run with the ball, do you know what I mean? And then into the box. So it's a different style of playing. This is one thing I've said about Arne Slot. I think everyone would agree with me. For 70 minutes of a game, our football was boring, terrible to watch, like dire, but we won games. so you didn't care. It got to full time, you got through the game, you won it, you go and win the league with players he's inherited that he can't, I don't think a few of them he can physically fit into how he will play. So now he's gone and I read a thing that he admires PSG and how like explosive they are and how fast and athletic, and that's what he's going for. So if he can implement a few changes into the squad and we can be more exciting to watch and win games, it's going to be like a dream. And as I said before the season, these are the days. Doesn't matter how you win as long as you're winning. That little fucking trophy thing, that trophy behind me there, it's not the real one, like, but you know, that's what it's all about. That's the bread and butter, and if we can do that again, the early signs of the signings we're possibly going to make, like I'm reading them going at the bottom there, and it is exciting, lad. It's just exciting, and we're not standing still. He's not going, oh well, we've done this with these players, another pre-season we can get them to go a bit further. He's seen enough. He knows what he needs to do to continue to win, and it's exciting times, lad.
It is, and it's great to see us like acting very promptly, because I think there has been a lot of times this season where we have kind of scraped through and got wins that we've needed to, and we've just dug down deep and managed to get through. But there's been times where like teams have been comfortably better than us for large periods of games. So there's obviously there's clear need for improvements in the squad as a whole. I don't think necessarily the starting 11, but then you look. I think having Frimpong and Bradley there is great, because I think in the games where you're expecting us to be a bit more defensive, Bradley starts. In games where you'd expect us to absolutely overwhelm and dominate opponents, Frimpong starts. It's great having those two sort of opposite type of players there, and I think it'd be the same with the other side, where if it ends up being Robbo and Kerkez, which again all signs point to that being pretty much a done deal. But again, you've got that explosiveness of Kerkez, and Robbo can be the one who sits back and doesn't attack quite as often. Now he's getting on. I think we've all kind of maybe questioned him a little bit. He's obviously not at the same level he was a few years ago now, but he's still an asset. He's still a great defender. I think he's still a very good one-on-one defender.
Yeah, you just can't expect him to go into games against like players like fucking who are fast as fuck, who are going to get him behind and see him struggle. You know, if you're winning 2-0 against Arsenal away or whatever, and you throw him on and you keep a flat back line and you don't ask him to go up, he'd be brilliant.
Yeah,
you're not getting him behind him if he's allowed to stay where he's staying, and that's the ideal situation. I love Tsimikas, and I think he's been a great member of the squad. But in terms of what we need for experience-wise, out the two, you keep Robbo and you bring a new lad in. And I just think that's the way to go. It is. We need just A and a B. You start your A team and then you bring your B players on. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're less good. It just means they're more fucking suitable to a situation where you are leading and we're taking our foot off the gas, and they can absorb a bit more pressure. So that's what I was saying about Frimpong then. Like, imagine it being 0-0, 60, 70 minutes against Liverpool. Conor Bradley goes off and Frimpong comes on. And you're like, fuck, we've got Frimpong and Salaria coming at us up the lines. And then you've got fucking Kerkez and Diaz. You're just like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Now, that's the difference when you throw Tsimikas and that gobshite on. Because that gobshite doesn't get up and down the wing. He doesn't go to the corner flag and cross the ball anymore. He trots into the middle and plays a beautiful football into Pats. But it's only so often they work. You know what I mean? So we need a new system and a new style of playing. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Can't wait.
Yeah. It's exciting times. And then, we go and we put this bid in for Florian Wirtz, which, all signs were pointing to buy in, and then that lad on Twitter put this big post out saying, like, look, it's not happening. Like, you don't have to believe me, but it's the truth I'm telling you. And he's been spot on about everything so far. And then, worth up to, as you see going across there, just at the bottom, up to 109.4 mil, which is just not us at all. But like, he wants us. He's had a chat with Arne Slot, and he said, fucking, Arrivederci, whatever the fucking that is in German, and he's coming. So yeah, lad, he's. I mean, it's a statement signing.
It is. It's
a signing we don't make. Yeah, it's a signing we don't really normally make, but I think now is the time to make a signing like that. You know, you just won the league. You want to make a statement that, like, look, we're not letting this go easy. We've worked too hard to get to this position, and you'll fucking have to kill us if you want to get back above us. And this is exactly the type of signing that shows that we mean business. And like, I hope we get it over the line. It looks like we are going to, but like, it's just going to be ridiculous.
You never know with us because we do stutter, don't we, in the market? Apparently, Edwards and Hughes had to go to America to speak to. I don't get why they have to do these business meetings. Can't they? Haven't they got phones?
Get on Zoom.
Phone them and go, hey, we need this dough. You don't badly need this dough.
Yeah.
Sound, thanks. Oh no, well, I'll have to come and see you then.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. With a horse's head. No, but yeah, it's not Liverpool. But at the end of the day, I feel like FSG have always, they go big or they don't go at all. They go for it all or they don't go at all. And I think that's the situation. I think the manager's come in, hasn't spent a penny, could have done this in the summer and been a bit unsure. You know, we were unsure about him. He hasn't even brought his family over because he was in his, like, fucking, what's it called? Like, testing period where we're not sure about him. He's obviously over the line now. He's going to see his contract out, whatever happens, because he deserves that at least. But yeah, I just think we're at a point where we have to go out and spend the money we've got in the bank. And I know it as a business. If you've made 400 million a year and someone comes and asks for 300 of it, it's investing in your own business. You've still made a nice hefty profit, and your business is now worth more because your assets are worth more, and you've literally got the team that could rule England and Europe next season. So that's the way to do it. And as I say, they go out and they get everyone or they get no one. And I think too many times we've been dipping our toe in the water and going, really fancy this player. He could get us to that next level where we continue to compete, or do we just drop down a bit and let the other teams have them? And that's where we've been silly in the past. This time we've got a list of players. Arnie Slot's got a list of players, and they've gone you, and you. We want you all before the window's even open, and hopefully our owners sanction it all. And if they do, again, not getting into this fucking top of the head and FSG out situation, but you've got to give credit where it's due. We've won the second league title under their ownership, and we're throwing bids in like that. And don't forget, we threw a £100 million bid in for Caicedo, and he's looking like a fucking world-class player again. So, you know, we've just missed out on him. I think Gravenberch has been phenomenal. I think he's not an enforcer where, like an Enzo, like someone who's going to battle and kick fuck out of someone. But that's not how we play. So I would like someone like that, maybe a little bit younger and a little bit taller and stronger than Enzo. But Enzo stays for me. Gravenberch stays forever. Role. And, you know, if you can add a young player in who's fucking solid, but then you've got Bajcetic coming in, see how strong he is, whether he's going to stay or go. It's all very interesting, lads, but we're not. Yeah. If we get the signings we're open for, we're not far away from being a
we're not.
An unbelievable team that plays unbelievable football.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Bajcetic. You know, like, he had a difficult time at Salzburg under Pep Lijnders, who's fucking off to Manchester. But he's gone the second half of the season, gone to Las Palmas. He's had from what I've seen clips of him and stuff like that, it looks like he's had a really good spell at Las Palmas. So seems to be, you know, recovering. He obviously had a tough injury time with us a couple of seasons ago, didn't he? Like, I think he was struggling with, like, growing, essentially.
Same as Jayden Danns, weren't
it? Yeah.
They can't say no play because they're something with the bones growing too quick.
Yeah. Something like that. So,
wish I had that problem.
I know, I can't relate. So yeah, no, it's going to be, again, he's another bright talent to bring into the fold. I think this season, I feel like Slot's being a little bit reluctant to use the youngsters as much, because I think probably because of how well the season's gone, it's got to a point where it's like, shit, okay, we're probably ahead of schedule in terms of potentially winning the league. We're on the cusp of it. We've been top since game week 10. We need to be playing our best team all the time, and that's what we've kind of had to do. And I think it's a weird one because I think if we weren't in that position, I think some of the youngsters probably would have played a little bit more. But again, it's like it's a sacrifice you're willing to make at this stage. You know what I mean? It's like youngsters don't play, but you win the league. It's like, all right, yeah, all right. I suppose we'll take that. But
get over it.
Now that he's going to have the chance to implement his football properly with players that he's bringing in, some of those youngsters are going to be coming into the fold. But Chettich will get a chance in pre-season. James McConnell, I'm looking forward to seeing more of him in pre-season if he's recovered from his injury. I know he had a boot on Jordan and Prey, but I think that the few times he's played this season, again, he's another one who's had a growth spurt. He's looked very good, I thought. It's a lot to be excited about, lad.
You see them against lesser teams and you think he fucking really stands out then. And you've got that Trey Naomi in it. He looks the part. So there's a few really good players there. But as Harvey Elliott finding out now, is it good enough to like have a bit of hat? Because I've got a feel he's going, isn't he?
I think he's gone like.
And do you know what? To be honest, I think it's premature from Arne Slot to let him go. Whether he's had a conversation that you are going to be a squad player and he thinks he's better than that, then that's down to him. But again, in the same situation as how we viewed Trent, this is a lad who's not from Liverpool, who, if you didn't hear his accent or his haircut, you'd say he was a Scouser, wouldn't you? He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's one of the most passionate lads I've seen play for us. He's unbelievable. He gets the crowd going, whether it's a tackle or a shot. I'd love to see him stay because I think he offers something. I think he's still young enough to learn and get better. But if he's playing in any of outside the top four, I think he's starting week in, week out. And I think at his age, once you've won everything with your boyhood club and you're not playing enough, then you go and that's what you're trying to move. You go on and you try and go and play football more. You've lived your dreams. Go and play football now more often. So yeah, whatever happens with him, wish him well. But I do hope there's a little bit of a U-turn and he's told he can stay and he can fight for the play. He deserves that.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I think he's one of the ones who, when he has been called on this season, which has been a lot, I think he's always done well. He hasn't really put a foot wrong, and it has been a shame not to see him used as much because of but I don't know. Obviously, Klopp loved him and played him a lot, and I think at times last season he was the difference maker. And it's just it's been a shame that we haven't seen him as much. To be honest with you, I can half see him going to Leverkusen to replace Wirtz, in all honesty. I'm not saying obviously he's that level because he's not, but I mean I can see. I think the Bundesliga would be a good league for him to actually go to. I think he'd do well there, and I just think, obviously they're getting Ten Hag in, which people are laughing about, but he'll go and do well in that league. I know he will. He's that type of manager. Like I think some of these European managers, the football doesn't translate properly to England, but it works well in the majority of European countries, and I think he's one of them. And so, like, I think they're going to end up getting Garnacho as well, which would be just nice to get him out the league, just because I wouldn't have to look at his face anymore.
I think when you've been that embarrassing in press conferences and that, and you've been ridiculed by the media here, I think you're fucking half shot straight away as soon as you get in there. I don't think he's not an exciting appointment. And if you were a Leverkusen fan and you just lost weight and you're bringing in Harvey Elliott, you're pulling your eyes out, aren't you? To be honest, and no disrespect to Harvey Elliott, but he's not that level. So yeah, fucking hell. And I think he can reach high level in football. I think he is a game changer and he has been brilliant for us. But we replaced Torres with Andy Carroll, and that'll be up there like that in that sense because it's just not an exciting. Again, I don't think the way like our media going about English players and that. I don't think the Germans are interested in fucking bringing in English fringe players. You know what I mean?
I do, but then at the same time, it's like I think clubs look at it different now. I think with the success like Dortmund have had from buying young British players, obviously they got Sancho over there at a young age and he killed it. Obviously Bellingham, they've got like that Jamie Gittins or whatever his name is, who's another one I think from City, who's doing well there. There's talks they want Bellingham's brother now as well. So like I think I think Dortmund have kind of changed the way it's all viewed a little bit, and I think there probably is more excitement for the English players now. Maybe not. Maybe Harvey Elliott's a little bit too old to sort of be in that same bracket, but if he went to Germany, I can see him killing it there. In all
I
honesty,
don't think he'd do well. I just think it's a name, innit? It's like if you go, well, we're getting Harvey Elliott. Like, and as I say, I love my hope he stays with us, lad. I do. I just, it's hard because Salah's not getting. He's not slowing down, lad.
Scary, innit?
Don't get me wrong. The end of the season, he did slow down, and like every single one of them, he slowed down in the same. And he doesn't even drink, but he played more pissed than everyone by the looks of it. He must just take drugs. But only messing with. No, I just think the whole team slowed down. But I think Harvey Elliott might see him in training and just go, "There's no fucking way. I'm not playing."
Yeah.
And he must see like the energy. Don't get me wrong. I think. If it was for me, his position would be him or Szoboszlai, because I think Szoboszlai, the energy he brings, I think Harvey Elliott brings something similar, but Harvey Elliott's not all that good defensively. Do you know what I mean? He's good.
I just think he hasn't got the stature either, though, has he? Like you look at Szoboszlai, he's like 6'1", 6'2". Like Szoboszlai's got a frame about him, whereas Harvey Elliott comes on, he's like 5'7", like weighs about 6 stone. Weighs about 6 stone. Like it's not quite the same. But look, wherever he goes, I think this is, as I say, unfortunately the end for him. Wherever he goes, I hope he absolutely smashes it.
There's a few, lad, to be honest. There's like from a few posts I've seen and from a few rumours, could be Kelleher. Kanate's not confirmed.
Yeah.
And again, we've got to sign him. We've got to put the ball in our court. Tell him we're Liverpool Football Club. You either sign before July or you're going. Simple as that. We're selling you or you fucking sign. Dead easy. We're not getting stuck again. Tsimikas.
Yeah.
Potentially Diaz.
Yeah. Quanta. Apparently.
I don't know. I'm not.
Apparently we're asking 50 mil for Quanta, which if we get that, Knight, Richard Hughes. On the spot.
It's the whole thing. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I think if Quanta goes somewhere and he's playing every week, he could end up at Bournemouth or somewhere. I think he's got the stature to be fucking absolutely brilliant, and it could be one that kicks us in the arse with him. But I've seen enough arrows to say his confidence is shot playing at our level, and that he probably could do it. Moving on.
I think he improved towards the back end of the season, admittedly.
He's had, do you know what, lad? He's had one of them seasons where things that could go wrong in a game all went wrong at the same time. Fucking booking red cards, hitting him on the arse and going in on goal. Do you know what I mean? He's
very
matter
type of
season. And a lot of it's down to luck. He's just been unlucky. But yeah, I think if you get 50 mil for him, you're biting the hand off. But then it could be one that you've got to put a thing in saying we get first dibs on him because he could be brilliant. And then you've got obviously Nunes, and maybe Jota. So,
and as possible, I've seen people talking about Joe Gomez as well. I don't know if you've said him, but I'd be gutted if Joe Gomez went, just because he's never scored for us. Like, you can't let him go without scoring.
Yeah, you know what happens? He scores against us in his first game.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what I was saying about Nunes as well the other week. Obviously, it looks like he's going. And I think I seen someone saying like there was a few Premier League teams interested in him, and I couldn't think of anything worse because he is a 94th minute at Anfield waiting to happen.
Get to score there first, and it's 5-0 Liverpool.
No, he's a 94th minute winner at Anfield.
He's one of them players where you're looking at him. He's not a Liverpool player, unfortunately. He's just not. I don't think he's got the mentality. I don't think he could carry the number 9 shirt. I think he goes elsewhere in the world, any other league. I think he gets 25, 30 goals in a season. I think he's mad.
Probably.
I do think it'll be one that could. I don't think it'll haunt us like physically where he fucking cost us anything. But I think it's one that we'll be watching him from afar going, go ahead, Nunes. He's smashing it. I just don't see a place for him with us anymore. I don't. He just can't play the basics of the game. I think he's too desperate to succeed that it's failing him. He's always offside. He's like one of the fastest players in the league, and he can't take a yard. He can't read a defender's movement. You know what I mean? He's just literally in behind and shooting 9 times out of 10 miss. But he's give us some boss times, lad. like to Newcastle, like to Brentford games we weren't going to win, and we've won it because of him. So he goes away as a little bit of a cult hero. He's won games for us, put points on the board, and he's given everything he could. So he goes away with a good ovation, and you just wish him well if he goes. And I think I said to you a few months ago, barring the likes of your Alisson, your Van Dijk, and your Salah, there's no one there that breaks my heart if they leave. You know, getting Virgin Mo over the line was massive.
I'm at an end out of that, by the way.
Bringing this new, he said he's staying, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's all I needed to hear.
But seeing Alisson will be interesting, but this new keeper looks like he's coming in to try and move Alisson, and that's what you want your goalie to be coming in to do.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
think he does. I don't think he does next season or the season after. And then you let Alisson go on a free to wherever he wants to go to earn the money because he's given us fucking everything. But you want another year out of him at least because he's the best goalie in the world still. But yeah, there's no one else in the squad there that if they go and get replaced by someone else, you're heartbroken about.
Yeah.
I think it's part like feels like we're in footy manager at the minute where you're all just thinking, oh, if Diaz goes and you bring in Anthony Gordon or like that fucking Nico Williams, it's exciting. So whoever's going to come in is exciting. I don't think we're going to be buying any crabs, and I don't think we're going to be losing anyone that we don't replace with someone who fits slot system a bit more. And I think that's what it's more down to. I think some of the players have done very well. Diaz has had a good season. I just don't know whether, as I was saying before, the dynamite fucking fluid football going up the wings and that, I don't think that's a Diaz situation. And not a Gakpo either.
Yeah.
So there's a few players you could go, and again, they all go with a clap and a handshake, and you wish them all well because they give everything for this team, made up for them.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of these players have contributed a lot, and it will be sad to see some of them go all down the heartbreaking, like you say. But I think that's the one thing that's been clear about Slot from the office. He's ruthless. So, you know, if he won't have any qualms about going to a player and go, right, look, you're not in my plans next season. We're accepting whatever bid's coming for you. See you later. Thanks for everything. Klopp, you know, we know Klopp wouldn't have done that. And that's been the difference. But it's kind of been a little bit what we needed. We needed that full-on reset to get us where we are, and it's obviously worked. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see who we bring in, other than the ones we already pretty much know about. You know, not looking forward to seeing who leaves, but you know what I mean. It's like interested to see who goes and where they end up going to, and things like that. And in an ideal world, none of them would be going to Premier League. So that, you know, but I think we're one of the probably few teams who, if a player leaves in the right manner, then they come back and they won't get booed. You know, a lot of teams seem to just boo every player that used to play for them that comes back.
With RVL battles, mate. Mad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. I don't understand that. Like, but that's what I mean. I think we're different in that respect. We don't do that. So yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? Like, but it's still like you're still on the higher winning league as well. It's like that's
right. It doesn't feel real because this is the sort of stuff we do when we haven't won. Where you're like, fuck, we need change here, and we're panicking, and we need to go and spend a load of dough. And now we're champions, we've won the league, and we're going out and signing these players. And you're just like, this is what Man City do. This is what teams with money do, and we're not used to it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here like a little pauper, like, fucking, we don't spend any money. We know we've spent money, but it's always been at the expense of losing key players like Coutinho and that. We know we've spent money, but it's been over like 10 years. Whereas Man City can go out and spend 300 mil in the window and nothing said about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now but our money we've earned 184 million or something from winning the Premier League, and then you've got all your sponsorships and all your ticket money that's come in, and we must have made nearly fucking 300 million.
Yeah, easy.
And then you've got last summer when we didn't spend a penny, the money from the season before sat in a pot. So you're just like, let's go and do it. I just love the way Arne Slot's come in, and he hasn't been too rash with things. He's gone, let's see what these lads are about. You're not putting pressure on me to go and win the league. Let's see what these lads are about. They finished, what was it, third last season?
Yeah.
Finished third last season. Let's see if we can stay in the top four with this squad. Let's see if I can implement my style of play with these players in a fashion he has, in spells he has. But I think he's realised not with all of them. So
yeah,
give us the money. Show me the money. I'm doing it. And I just think it's just a fucking exciting time to be a Red with champions. The Champions League finals on tonight. I think even that's how fucking well brought up we've been in that, and how lucky we've been supporting this team. As I'm pissed off that we're not in that final tonight and we're sat here with the Premier League trophy. Do you know what I mean? And
I know.
That's the goal for next year, to go and get the two of them, and that is what the goal's got to be. As a big club, as one of the biggest clubs in the world, Liverpool Football Club, who aren't standing still in the window, who have just won the league, who are going to buy anyone who's going to improve us. Go for Europe, go for every trophy. As Frimpong said, he wants the treble, lad, so let's go for it.
Let's do it.
What a set of balls on him, by the way, to just come in and go, yeah, I'm used to winning trebles and trophies and league titles and that, so let's go and do it. Change the fact I'm here to win with yous, and I can't wait to celebrate and all that. I love it. I just love him.
It's boss, isn't it? It's nice. It's nice to hear. He's just gone, look, this is what I'm used to, so I'll have a bit of that, please. Yeah, I can't wait, lad. It's just fucking boss, I say. I don't care what we do or don't do in the window, to be honest. It's just we get to watch us as champions next season. We've got that little fucking gold lion on our arms next season, and that's all we care about at the minute. But it's exciting times, I think. What I do just want to say as well, big fan of John Henry being on the bus looking like this fucking Scouse man. Absolutely top tier, that, like. You know, John Henry on the bus partying to fucking Calvin Harris, like, as a scene I didn't ever expect to see.
I just love him where he has a swig of his Carlsberg, like, through gritted teeth, like, this is shite, this, and then goes, ooh, that's another. John.
But you know what? It's a sign of him we haven't seen before. Like, he hasn't been on. He wasn't on, like, the. I mean, I don't think I can't remember him at least being on the bus for, like, after 2019 and like 2022. He wasn't on any of them buses, and it's nice to see a different side of him.
2022, that's fine.
No, when we done the fucking FA Cup and League Cup.
Oh, sorry, lad.
No.
2019. 21. I fucking don't know. Last time we won the league.
It was. No, I'm not on about that. I'm on about the Champions League, and then obviously the FA Cup and League Cup.
I don't even think he fucking come over for the FA Cup, to be honest.
That's what I mean. So,
yeah.
But it was nice seeing that side of him and just like getting involved and.
Good to see them in the ground, and that just when you're looking at them, and he was stood there looking round against Palace, and I was thinking to myself, he must be going, I fucking own this. This is mine. This is like this whole thing belongs to me and my business, and all the family were like getting all the confetti that was on the floor and letting the kids stand on the podium, and they were throwing it up. And the kids were standing there like that. And I was just like, they're just like doing stuff that we do, just normal things that you normal families are doing. When you see them in real life, just there living, and not in an office, do you know what I mean? You think they are just fucking just people who've done well and they're smashing it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they own our club, and they're finally putting their hands in their pockets. But again, we never in our life, you know, as much as we've come close and all that. Until Jurgen Klopp, we didn't think we'd see a league title. We thought we were just going to go into the gutter and like be telling tales of like Istanbul and that forever. And thankfully, we've made our own memories, and now we could rule again. And we said it under Klopp, but with Klopp, we'd done the wrong thing. I think personally, Klopp got a bit too much power, and that was the reason why Edwards left. And a few of the later signs we made weren't the best, and now, you know, Hughes and Edwards have got the power back. This transfer window looks like it's going to be impeccable, all being well, and we're champions, and we're going to go out to at all costs to win it again. And I think it just feels like a dream that we're in this situation, and
great, isn't it?
We're in a situation of power, and seeing on every article, Kerkez only wants Liverpool. Frimpong only wants Liverpool. Fucking Waits only wants Liverpool. And you're like, we're back, baby. We are Liverpool. This is what it should be about. When you see the scenes around the city and around the ground against like Tottenham and Crystal Palace, and the amount of people that were there and who flooded the streets and all that. Every single footy player in the world, if you've got any passion for the game and you love playing for good fans, Liverpool's the place to be. There's nowhere else. This is the best place to play football.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask you some of your things that just like, let's say end of season awards in a way, but just little bits about the season. So we'll start off nice and easy. Who's your player of the season?
Salah, obviously. He's been ridiculous. I think for 2/3 of the season, ridiculous. The numbers were just bizarre. For him, I know we say a man of his age, he's like 31. The physique on him, he's just incredible. He's just like a god. He really is like a king, lad. He's unbelievable. I think what he's put in, them assists with the outside of his foot, I think he's done it over and over again, then passes into the box. Seeing him playing with a smile on his face, he's usually like dead Mr. Serious, and he's done nothing but smile this season. He's loved it. And he's loved his role where he's not getting fucking harassed to defend as well.
Yeah.
We're playing with a right back who's playing right back, and he's playing right wing, and he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, and you say he's been playing with a smile on his face, and it's almost, I think there's been an element of him going like, this genuinely could be my last time, or one of my last few times playing for this club. I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. And obviously it got to the point where, people did start to worry about if he was going to sign a new deal and stuff like that. And I think it was a case of that, all the away grounds he was going to, and he was absolutely just ripping them to shreds. And like, I think there was an element of that, like, this could be my last time here, I'm going to enjoy it. So, yeah, I mean, I can't, there's no one else who you can say other than Salah. There's, there'll be an argument for your Van Dijks and your Gravenberch, maybe McAllister, but I mean, it's only going to be Salah in that respect. He's had one of the greatest Premier League seasons of all time. There's just nothing else you can say about him.
Best of all time, isn't it?
Yeah, in less games as well, because they were 42 game seasons. So I say it is the best Premier League season of all time.
Yeah. Just annoying, like some of the chances he missed, he would have been top of the list, wouldn't he? But always next year.
But lad, I mean, some of the passes he was putting on a plate to players and he was missing and stuff like that. Lad, he could have had 10 more involvements than he did have in the end. But yeah, like, again, he'll care, but obviously getting the trophy is all that matters at the end of the day. Who's your young player of the season?
Obviously Gravenberch was one of any, but
yeah.
I'd say Bradley. I think Bradley's had a bit of a tough time. He's had pressure on him because we've practically known Trent was leaving all along anyway. And I think he's come in and he's sort of made the role his own when he's played. He's been exciting getting up the wing. He flies in with tackles, and the likes of that Mbappe challenge and that. They're things that set the tone. You know what I mean? For the season, for his career, for the game, for everything. So, yeah, I'd say Conor Bradley. I think he's been pretty faultless, really. I think he's made a good account of himself, and he's made it bearable that one of the best passes of the ball is leaving us because we've got him, who we know is probably a better all-round footballer than him. So, yeah, Conor Bradley.
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's the Premier League sort of criteria for young player of the season has caused a lot of people to question it, which I kind of get. Like, I don't think 23-year-old should be able to be still winning young player of the season. I think Foden was still up for it up until last season, and it's like 7th season in the first team. It's like it's getting to a point where it gets a bit ridiculous. But yeah, I'd say it's probably a toss up between Gravenberch and Bradley for me as well. But yeah, I think based on sort of their overall careers, I'd probably say Bradley myself. I think obviously we got a glimpse of him last season when he come into the fold. He had that performance against Chelsea, which I think really sort of put him on the map. And then this season, when he has played, obviously he's been unfortunate with injuries. But when he has played, he's been brilliant. And as you say, that Mbappe tackle sort of goes down in folklore almost, doesn't it? Now
goes down in history as one of them games, lad, where this big fucking superstars being wiped out fairly.
Yeah.
Dead hard, boss.
So yeah, he's been boss, and I'm you know, he's one I've earmarked for a while, ever since he had that season at Bolton. I think the pre-season last year, when I seen he was getting a chance, I was saying then, like, I'm made up. Like, I'm really happy to see him in the squad and that. And so far it's all been justified, like the hype around him. So yeah, can't wait to see him.
It's a little bit of shithouser he's got about him. He reminds me of Robbo.
He's an Andy Robbo, yeah. He's another Andy Robbo.
He's just got that attitude where, like, he's going to get there first, or he's going to, you know what I mean? He's got that in him, which I like. And, you know, he's a little bit, he's got that shithousery about him, which you need to play for Liverpool, really.
Yeah, definitely. Goal of the season. That might be hard. You might not be able to remember that.
Tell you, probably Salah against Villa for me, when Brighton beat Man City and then we play Villa. That goal was, I turned to my dad and said, we're going to win the league here. So that was the feeling. We went into that Aston Villa game like, right, we win this, it's on, innit? It's really on. So that for me, for the importance of it, but for just the sheer jubilation, that McAllister goal against Tottenham was just something else. The Macher one wins it in terms of the goal.
What it meant.
The situation one was Villa.
Yeah. I think for me, just in terms of like just the actual quality of the goal, I'm going to go a bit rogue with this one. I'm going to say Nunes against Bournemouth, where he's cut inside and hit it with his left foot from like the edge of the box.
What a goal!
Yeah, I don't even. You might be taking a piss. I don't know if you can remember it, but you'll have a look at it once we finish it. You'll understand. But it was, in terms of the actual quality of the goal, that was certainly up there. But that McAllister goal against Spurs was. I can't describe the feeling at that moment. As going behind as well. Like, you knew for a fact we were going behind that game. It was the way that it had to happen for some reason. And then we just blew them away. Like, I had no like worries at all that we were going to win it. But then, as I say, going behind, you're like, fucking hell. And then
the Liverpool way, they've got to make
of course,
before they do anything.
But like, I mean, I remember saying before the Tottenham, I think it was Leicester, West Ham, and then Tottenham won it, or the other way. West Ham, Leicester, Tottenham, were our final 3 games we needed to win before being confirmed as champions. And I said, like, on paper, they're the 3 games you want. If you need to win 3 games to win the league, I couldn't have handpicked 3 fucking teams better than them 3. The way they've been this season, it was just absolutely set up perfectly. And then, the West Ham game, we still made hard work of that last-minute winner by Van Dijk. The Leicester game, we made hard work of that. That was an own goal, I believe. And then fucking the Tottenham game, we didn't make hard work. We treated Tottenham how exactly we have done for the rest of the season and battered them. But it was just that McAllister goal. When that went in, you knew that we were winning that day. There was nothing that was going to stop us that day as soon as that one went in.
That eruption, lad, was obviously, you've probably seen it, was on the fucking Richter scale and that, weren't it? That was absolutely unheard of in football or at any sport event.
The seismic reds.
You know what I mean? That raw, it was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just, that's the only way to describe it. What else should we do? Most improved player.
Most improved? I think you probably have to go with Gravenberch. I think he's been the catalyst for the first half of the season of what we were about. The way he was receiving the ball in the middle and rolling and getting us on the front foot. The way he's putting in to win the ball back and, shadowing players and blocking them and stuff. Again, a lot of his game, you can see, is when we haven't got the ball, the work rate he puts in. said before, he is a little bit like Ronaldo, where you don't really appreciate him till he's not there. I think he's got a lot more to give and a lot of learning to do, and he can get a lot better. But yeah, I think he's, in terms of, he's gone from a bit part player to the main man in the middle of our midfield. If you were picking one of the three, he's the one you pick every week. He starts every single week for us. You can rotate all the others. So for that, I'd say him. But then also McAllister, because I think McAllister's been a fucking godsend this year. He's showed us. I think there was a bit of a question about him last year, where when he's good, he's really good, but when he's not there. I've questioned his ability to like read the game at times when there's danger around him, and not have the vision to see that he's going to get the ball chuck off him. He's too calm and collective, but this season he's been well better at that. He's literally took the piss out of teams on his own at times. So yeah, the pair of them head to head has just been class to watch. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to watch them in our midfield. And then again, you've got Szoboszlai, who was your player, and he's great.
No, you know what? What I was actually going to say is I think you can make an argument for the three like main starters in the midfield as being the most improved. I think an argument can be made for all three. So I'm actually glad you brought them up. In all honesty,
the expectation of him last season, when he had that start, he had 8 games and he was unbelievable and unplayable and he was everywhere. And then again, he's had stop-start parts this season, and people are moaning that his work rate slowed down near the end and that. And you're like, what do you want him to do? He's absolutely fucked. He's ran the most nearly every single game. He's everywhere, from at the edge of our box to their box. I just want him to get on the ball a bit more and, you know, thrive forward a little bit more. But I think, yeah, all three of them. But Gravenberch gets it for me.
Yeah, same. I think he's had the biggest improvement out of the three. Obviously, I think there was signs with McAllister last season. I thought McAllister was very good last season, in fairness, but I think he's took it to another level this season. There were signs there with Szoboszlai, as you say, the starter when he first come in, especially. But I think Gravenberch, there was no signs of him being the player that he's been this season. I don't think last season. I think he had 1 or 2 moments where you're like, yes, okay, you're looking like a good player here, but it didn't happen a lot. I don't think he was used enough for it to happen. And then this season, you know, we were looking like we were getting Zubimendi. He decided to stay to look at the mountains, and then we've gone, fuck it, we'll stick with Gravenberch in the 6, and it's been an absolute revelation. So yeah, he's the one
for a reason, lad, and without that happening, Gravenberch might have been a bit bad player and not get his chance.
Yeah,
and
that's
it.
it.
I mean, we've stuck with him, and now we have literally got a Dutch revolution. We've got the core of the team's Dutch, managers Dutch, and we're absolutely flying.
Yeah. So yeah, now it obviously happens for the reason. I'd ask you for signing of the season, but considering we only made one, he kind of wins it anyway.
I think about it.
You know what? Talking about him though, I wish he'd played more. I think every time he's played, he's looked good, with the exception of Plymouth, where I don't think anybody played well. But other than that, I think he's played well when he's played.
I don't know whether I don't get the lack of involvement of him, because there's been games where we've been struggling and he's rapid and he's tricky and he can get into space and he stays on side and he can score goals. So the lack of involvement, I read someone saying maybe to just, you know, it's precautionary, so he gets a full pre-season and he's all right for next year. So how old is he? About 27, isn't he?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's not like he's a down and out, do you know what I mean? I'm going to protect him in cotton wool, but if he has had a bad injury and he's had a previous bad injury before he joined us, maybe they are just like, listen, this is not the time to test them. Let's just see how we go. We're not desperate. We've got other players who can come on. Let's try and keep him as fit as possible and in and around the lads, and see how he goes next season. Because for the price we paid for him, it's not a risk, is it? So if we keep him another year, involve him a little bit more, but just for the song, like, you've got to be a heartless, ruthless cunt to get rid of him, because we love that song.
I don't think it'll stop getting sung even if he goes. Like, but I don't want him to. Just the song is too good.
I just think the option I think the ball might be in his court. Well, what did he cost us? Like 16 mil.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was more like 12.
Was it? So he's cost us buttons in today's football market, you know what I mean? I can't see his wages being bizarrely big, to be fair. So I think it's a situation of, stay, fight for your place. And maybe that's where Harvey Elliott's at with that as well, because that's another lad who plays in his position on the right.
Yeah.
So it might be that one or the other who goes, if you are going to be honest and say who looks a bit more flared and a little bit more of a goal threat at time, it's Chiesa. So it's just a situation that I'd love to keep him. And again, it's the same. The money's not ours. We're not getting the money. If we can make these signings we're about to make and keep the likes of your Nunez's and your Chiesas and your Diaz's and still add to the squad and have an absolutely unbelievable bench, then you do it. But that's not how it works, unfortunately. But the likes of your £12 million players, you're only going to get that back. You know what I mean? You might get 15 mil for Chiesa or whatever, but he hasn't stood out this season because he hasn't played. So you're going to get next to nothing for him.
Yeah. That's it. I think Harvey Elliott's obviously got the better market value at the minute. Like Harvey Elliott's 21? I don't even know how old he is, but he's not old. He's still extremely young. So he's the player you are going to probably be able to get 35, 40 mil for. So realistically, we know that FSG are businessmen first and foremost. So the way they work, he's the one they're going to sell over Chiesa. Yeah,
definitely. And that's what I think as well. You'd have to speak to your manager and say, like, you're not going to sell the better one out the two. What do you think? Do you think, does his value match his value? What are you going to get out of both of them? Is it worth getting 30 million or getting 10 million? Can you use Chiesa? And the song's brilliant. I just hope. I think he deserves a chance, and I don't think he's really had one. And I don't know whether that's because of his injuries or just because he doesn't quite fancy him. But only the manager knows that, and we'll know in the coming weeks, won't we? But yeah, it'd be good to keep him. I think he's been a breath of fresh air when he's come on. I think he's been lively, and when a game's been calling for entertainment and a bit of fire, he's been bringing it. So
yeah.
It's all you can ask for is him to give us all. And as I say, it's the same with Harvey Elliott. He comes on and never hides. He gives absolutely everything. He is one of the hardest workers I've seen, and he echoes what it means to play for Liverpool as a Liverpool fan. So say to whoever goes, good luck and see what happens.
Yeah. So next one I'm going to ask you then is game of the season, but I am going to preface it by saying you're not allowed to choose Spurs and you're not allowed to choose Palace when we lifted the title. They're the two that are off limits. You're not allowed to say them. Other than them, game of the season.
Man City away. Man City away in their ground, passing the ball around, stoking it round, seeing Trent get dribbled past 12 times by an absolute crab. Just literally strolling through it with ease, looking like champions in their back garden was just brilliant. And we let them have the ball at times and we let them fuck about with it, but it was never one of them games where we come out going, oh my God, we scraped through that. It was just like, done.
Yeah.
We beat them.
It was a great game.
And the 2-2 when they beat us, because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have won the league against Tottenham. So happy days.
Yeah, that worked out well for us,
that was
didn't
a great
it?
Point. Fantastic point at the pit of misery.
Favourite point of the season. Yeah, you know what? I was torn in my head between City, if I'm being honest, because again, everything you just said, I echo. Fantastic performance, made them look childish in their own backyard. Doku, like you said, dribbled past him however many times he did, and it was absolutely pointless.
He got to the byline, and Van Dijk was just like, "What can I take?"
To the point where it was almost like he was going, "Go ahead, go past me." Not asked. You're not going to do anything in a bit. Giving him a bit of false hope.
I think on the day of the podcast, I think we said we give Trent a bit of leeway with that, saying, "Oh, he knows that the centre halves are going to cover his back," but in hindsight, he just got absolutely abused by him. He's shite. What a terrible fullback.
No, I'm sticking with that narrative we had initially. It's too funny. But I'm gonna go same City, but different ground. I'm gonna say United away. I just think so early on in the season, third game in, still not really sure what to expect from Slot. obviously United had done well against us the previous season. I don't think we beat them last season, the season before last, did we? So to then go there and again just look so comfortable and teach them a footballing lesson at Old Trafford, as we have done many times the last few years, in fairness. But again, to do it with the new manager 3 games into his tenure was just amazing. And it was the first sign that none of us probably really picked up on it at the time because it was so early, but it was the first sign that something was going to happen this season, and we just didn't really appreciate it as much as we probably would have done if we'd have known what was to come.
It's hard, isn't it, in the early days, and then obviously you're playing a big rival. I think obviously they had Ten Hag at the time, didn't he? Yeah. So it was like the battle of the Dutchmen and big talk on who's the better one and what's Arne Slot going to be like replacing Klopp, and then there was your statement win.
Yeah, it was
3 points, took the absolute piss, and played in second and third gear. So just a joy to behold.
And then go on to lose to Forest the next game at Anfield,
and that never left his soul.
That was a catalyst to the season.
I reckon he's got that goal on his wall in his bedroom, Arne Slot.
Well, it was a catalyst, wasn't it? Like it showed us what we needed to do to go on and do what we've done for the rest of the season. In hindsight, you look back on it and go, "I'm fucking made up that happened." Because I think
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think if we'd have gone on some mad run and then lost, it would have derailed us, like big time. And I think just the manner in which it happened was, it kind of just all fell into place.
Well, I messaged one of the lads who's into all his Dutch footy, and I was saying he didn't play this messaged him like quite recently. He didn't play that footballer final, did he? And he was like, no, it was like free flowing and fucking. When you had to defend, you defend, but when you got going, you got going. And the first part of the season, we did until Forest. So I think it was that game against Forest where the changes started being made of, yeah, we're not going to go and blow everyone away this season. It's not physically possible. There's too many good teams at different levels who can absorb the pressure and nick a goal. So he started playing like Mourinho a little bit in certain spells of certain games where we let them out the ball and then we done the same to them, nicked it off them, got a goal. And I think that was the turning point of, let's just win football matches. Let's not be here to entertain and make it all lovely. Let's just win football matches and the parties will follow. And we fucking did.
Yeah. Well, look, it's been just great reminiscing about the season, hasn't it, for an hour or so. We've just... It's just a happy time in it to be a Red. Like, it's just fucking great.
I just don't know how I've got memories of it because, honestly. So I'll talk you through that weekend of, what was the Palace weekend? Can't remember what I done. The Friday night, we went to Sound of Taggies. And then into town. So Sound of Taggies had like Andy Hodgson on. He had Jan Molby there. Jan Molby with... see? Jan Molby with... Who was it? Fucking can't remember. Danny Agger was there.
Yeah.
Mark Light and someone else. Can't think. One of them, anyway. So they're there. They're having like a little talk on the stage. Just party vibes. Everyone's dancing and singing. Ale going down the gear. Ended up in town till like 5:30 that morning.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
No, I'm sending a message. Someone.
So they're till 5:30 in the morning. Thanks for that. Very rude while I'm talking to you. You're like Sam. Gets home at 5:30 from town. Being on the ale, obviously all night. And then remember, I've got the run for the 97 at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So gets up and goes and does the run for the 97 in the morning. And then goes and does a stall at like 11 o'clock till about 7 and was on the ale. And then come home, went to bed, got up, went out for the Palace game, tried to be as good as I could before the game so I could remember the trophy lift and that. As I say, fucking terrible. Didn't drink until the second half. Watched the parade, watched us have the trophy and that, went out, went back to a mate till like 6 in the morning, got up, and then went to town at 12 the next day for the parade, and then was in town till like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was just relentless, non-stop partying. And I say Matthew Street, the night of the parade, obviously all the horrific scenes we seen, people didn't know what to do, and then once it started filtering out that it wasn't a purpose meant planned attack, and it was an sort of a fucking sick incident that wasn't premeditated sort of thing.
Yeah.
People started relaxing a bit, and we started getting wind that there was no, like, you know, fatalities and that. So Matthew Street started buzzing again, started getting it back to grips that we were there to party and that we'd won the league, and everyone started like calming down and relaxing into it again. We ended up having another brilliant night and partying. That we were in like Matthew Street, Sgt. Pepper's and that, and you've got fellas trying to sing normal songs, and you've got us singing Chiesa non-stop, and in the end they just stopped singing, and then they come back out and started singing like James, oh sit down, so we'd sing Mo Salah, and we started relating it to Liverpool, and we're like, what were you playing at? Not playing them songs in the first place. So yeah, happy memories that'll live with me forever. Obviously seeing us lift the title with me dad next to me, me and my dad watched Liverpool lift the Premier League title fucking together in the ground. Unbelievable. And we've partied since. So, yeah, great time to be a Red. And hopefully all this news at the bottom starts coming through soon. Good luck to Johnny Heitinga, the Blue.
I know, yeah.
Excited with the Red.
He's not a Blue anymore, lad.
He's a cop now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great time to be a Red. Probably not a good time to be the liver of a Red. But look,
it's call us Liverpool, lads.
I know, yeah, fucking hell. But look, it's just been.
I'm off now for
3 days.
Benidorm in 11 days.
But look, it's just been an absolutely unbelievable time, and I don't think it's something any of us imagined. You know, when Slot got announced, no, I don't think anybody expected this in our wildest dreams. So the fact that we've now lived it, and you know, we're going on the charge already. We started making signings before the season was even over. We're out for blood. It seems already. We're here to take over, essentially. So yeah, it's been.
Us was top 4. Getting that top 4, and he's exceeded all expectations. So as I say, he goes down in history now as a Liverpool hero, Liverpool legend, one of the Liverpool great managers, because he's delivered the title. So what happens from now on happens, but he's already made us dream, made the dreams come true, and hopefully he can deliver in Europe and the league next year.
That's it.
And by the looks of the fucking business we're doing, it's a very big possibility.
I can't wait. Look, gonna wrap it up there. Appreciate anybody who has been watching live. Appreciate you tuning in, and even if you just sort of popped in and out, appreciate you nonetheless. A little hour and a half one, bit longer than we normally do, given how long it's been since we've done one. So yeah, it's been great to be back. And yeah, we'll try and come to you we try and get 1 or 2 out over pre-season, but you know what we're like with pre-season, we do try and leave it as much as we can to sort of reinvigorate it for the next seasons. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few bits we can throw out in the meantime. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Obviously, as always, if you're watching, please do subscribe to the channel. Follow us on whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Get us on Twitter at LFC Groove, and obviously Jay at Scouts Republic. And yeah, we're flying. But yeah, until next season, for now at least anyway, up the fucking league champion Reds.
Up the fucking Reds. Get in.